Hood Politickin.
Back at it.
Diamond Mind Identity. That's the next. Live life.
Episode 6, Hood Politics. Back with another dope topic.
We back at 6 already, man.
We knocking them out.
That's gonna knock another one out. Give you some of these jewels. Remember those cast pearls and swine.
We back at it. Episode 6. Got another dope topic. Today we're gonna talk about mindset. Where do we get our mindset from? And we're gonna talk to Gotti, we're gonna talk to Slim, and figure out what gave them their mindset. Gotti gonna kick it off. Let us know what's up, Gotti.
My mind state is most of the time is you seriously are a product of your environment. You are always a product of your environment, but here's the catch. I don't know what gives you your mind state when you're raised in a good environment.
Yeah.
And still choose to do the things that you know are unbecoming of a person who was raised right.
I think it's influence.
Yeah. Influence to a certain extent.
Like what influences you and how did it influence you in what way?
Well, what I did, I was attracted by the fast life.
Okay.
Everything I was taught not to do attracted me. Not to get the fast women, not to get the fast money.
So you was hard-headed.
Hard. In a subliminal way, yes. I was very hard-headed.
That makes it soft ass.
It makes it, hard head makes it soft ass because they tell you in a religious text that rear a child in the way they should go. But 9 times out of 10, the people who are in the streets don't want to be in the streets.
Yeah.
And the ones who are not in the streets do everything in their power to get in them. But I learned something about going to the penitentiary. The streets is not for everybody. That's why they made sidewalks.
So tell us a little bit about how you ended up in the penitentiary.
How I ended up in the penitentiary was going to school. I'm doing the music. I'm making all the right moves, as you would say. To have a productive life. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to be a drug dealer. In California, LA specifically, back in the 80s and the 90s, you got a chance to see drug dealing and money making. You got the chance to see it firsthand from some of the biggest and best dudes who ever did it. I wanted to be that, but never thought I was going to come close to it. So when I tried to do what I did, I actually got in over my head. Me personally, I got in over my head. I did. I truly can say that. I was not a hustler. I'm still not a hustler. I was not a drug dealer.
What was you?
In the way.
You was in the way.
In the way.
Wow. That's cold. You was in the way. Why you was
I was in the way because my incarceration and my drug dealing time of being a drug dealer, they both collided and coincided with each other. Meaning this is when how can I say this? In both instances, I became an extremist because I didn't properly know the rules. I in prison and also on the streets, I didn't know the real sense of disrespect, not respect, the sense of disrespect. Meaning you don't fight every war. Every war is not a battle. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know that, all right, how he gonna look at me? He gonna think I'm this. I go to jail, I got the same mentality. Man, if I let this go, how they gonna look at me? But those are the traits of a man. You see what I'm saying? You got to know when, how, and where to handle situations.
Let me ask you this. In the making of your mindset, you wanted to, do the drug thing. and you suffer the consequences behind it.
Did I?
Do you think that the system was fair to you or unfair to you?
To be honest with you,
Man, that's what I'm looking for.
I think the system was more fair than it was unfair. That might rub people the wrong way, because you know why? It's no such thing as rules and laws if you don't break them. You never know.
And you just said it yourself. You didn't know the rules, but you played the game. So if
Played
you
the
don't,
game.
if you play a game, you don't correctly know the rules. You gotta be able to man up to all the consequences.
Well, you know what it is? I think life is like this. Me personally, I think life is like this, is that we treat the game and we treat life if this is the game of Monopoly. You know how many times we make our own rules up to Monopoly? It's a set of rules to Monopoly.
Man, not just Monopoly, Uno, Monopoly, every game
Domino.
we play.
Monopoly cheat.
Hey, it's a,
Monopoly, I'm cheating, right?
yeah, you don't cheat. But I'm saying, like with dominoes, the dominoes got a set of rules. Big 9, Big 6. They got a set of rules come with the game.
Yeah.
You gonna talk about, well, we're gonna play like a game I learned from some guys in Texas. I think it's called Double Smooth.
Are you recording on that?
Yeah, I didn't know it ain't working right now.
Okay.
Double Smooth. You come from California, I'm like, what are y'all playing? Oh, this is how we do this. You can't get on until you score 15. You know, we score 5, you know. It's a lot of things, but like I said, the mind state, what like, how can I put it? What makes you, influences you and stuff like that? Like you said, that was a good question y'all asked. Me, I'm not afraid to admit to our audience or anybody that talk to me, I should have stayed my ass out the streets.
It's too late for that, though.
Too late for that. But I let the streets and certain individuals influence me without them even talking to me. That was my problem with it. I looked up to certain individuals when I had other role models and other things and people to look up to.
Now let me ask you this:
Mm-hmm.
knowing the experience in the past that you do have, what are some of the tools or things you did to propel your mindset to where it's at now?
To where it's at now, to be honest with you, totally honest, I was a damn fool. You talking about on the streets or I'm doing my incarceration? Because that's what I spent half of my life. So which one would you be particularly?
It doesn't matter wherever you change.
Well, I
your
use.
mindset. I don't want to hear about. We know your street pass and we know the experiences you come.
Okay.
But how do you evolve out of that?
How do I evolve out of that? One person I always bring up to, because he's one of the only men. You know what I'm saying? I look at more women. I look at women as role models, but a man role model was Dr. Hood Shakur. He showed me that what a real man was. And it really has to do your influence, how you carry yourself, how you want to be looked at. He said, always remember when you do things, whether they be violent, non-violent, good or bad, it all creates a legacy.
Okay, well let me take Dr. Matulu Shakur out of the equation because he was like a teacher to you.
Yes, he
I'm
was.
saying on your own. How were you able to possess, and dissect the information he was giving to you and how you apply it to your life?
How I did it is what I did is I made a conscious decision within myself. This is not how I want this to end. This is not what I wanted to be remembered as, remembered about.
Yep.
I actually sat down and made a conscious decision. I had to be real with myself.
You know what I think about right now?
Mm-hmm.
I think about, like right now, what's going on in the world with the coronavirus. Everybody in the same situation. Right now, it ain't about money.
Nothing.
It's not about going out. It's not about celebrating. It's about, are we gonna live past this? You feel me? And it make you think about like our whole life. What were we chasing? Were we chasing money? Were we chasing women? Were we trying to build a reputation that people respected? Or are we getting lost in certain things that really you find yourself back in a room by yourself thinking like, all of these things that I put effort and energy into, was it really worth it? You know what I'm saying? And, when I think of mindset, I think of what you represent, what's your purpose, what direction are you headed in? Because a lot of us, we focus more on speed than direction. We want to get something fast. We want to do something fast. We want to get to a certain place in our life where we feel confident because everyone else feels confident about us. And what is that? It's money. We've been chasing money. And we've been putting such a value on the dollar that we're willing to lose our whole self and our freedom and everything, not knowing that even when we got the money, what was we going to do with it?
Exactly.
And then we often find ourselves in over our head, like you said. And it's like, when you think of Master P, and you think of Jay-Z, and you think a lot of these great CEOs, you think about what they did. They had an experience in their life where they did what they had to do, coming from where they from. And you even saying that you didn't have to do that.
Nah.
You came from a good background.
Nah.
But I think a lot of the real true hustlers, right, that overcame their environment, they understood that it's not about getting in over your head. It's you do it for a certain period and you place that energy and effort into something that's going to get you free from that. And that's what we got to understand. Most of the time, people get in these situations and they don't even need to.
But you said something it's hard, man.
No, it's hard.
And I'm saying what you said some minute ago is very precedent, but it's hard. Getting in and getting out. It's when you get, understand this, when you get real money, that's not a reality. Because it's like a person who gets addicted to playing poker. They always thinking if they down or rolling dice, I'm one big strike away. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Or you make $1 million. Damn, I made $1 million in 2 months. What could I do in 6? Mm-hmm. Instead of taking that.
But look, how long was your run?
Me selling drugs?
Yeah.
Be honest with you, it wasn't no more than 2-3 years at the most.
Okay, so you're telling me, right, that it's hard. And I understand because it gets addictive, right? Anytime you do something that's easy and you see the money coming in, but there comes a time and a place in your life where you got to have a certain amount of control, self-control. And we were taught to get it all. We were taught to keep it going. But a lot of us weren't taught structure. So if you don't understand structure, you're not going to understand anything about money. Like, it always has to be a ending to something, right?
But 9 times out of 10, guess what? When you're doing something illegal, death or jail.
But let me
No, it don't have to be though.
Let me jump in on this because you can be a person hustling in the streets and get money, but if you wasn't raised or schooled by other people to get money, what if your mother was on drugs, your family was dysfunctional, and you found a hustle and a way to get money? So nobody told you or taught you correctly what to do with money because they more or less they in need, and you're the person that can provide their need. So a lot of times, we a lot of us when you're younger, even older, when you get the money, if you don't have a vision or if there's nobody there to guide you with that vision, then you're gonna, because I can give you $1, but you don't know what's attached to at the end of every dollar.
See, I'm a student of life, right? So I can look at another man's struggle and I can look at it and be like, oh man, he headed down the wrong direction. I don't have to even see him and experience him for a long period of time. I can come in and out of his life and see what he's doing and be like, hey, he not gonna last long. Because anytime you see a man consistently doing the wrong shit and he don't want to listen to nobody else and he don't want to take advice and he don't want to, hey bro, you had a good run. You done had a good run, bro. You need to start focusing on, evolving. Anytime you see a man not evolving, he's gonna crash.
Okay.
Let me say one more thing.
We'll get it in.
When somebody, it was a police. He gave me game when I was 15. I was in the hood. I was wilding out, and he told me he taking me to jail. He told me, he said, "Look here, young man, you can do 1 million crimes. My job is to catch you once." And that was so profound on me. It just stuck with me for the rest of my life.
Hey,